So the police have rescinded this written warning.
Yep.
And you're now free to post this or any other leaflet.
I am, yeah, thank you.
Right.
Thanks to Rebel News, I can post leaflets again if I want to.
I'm here in Colchester in Essex on another Fight the Fines case. Now this one is slightly unique. This is not a fine, this is a free speech issue. Kelly Hayhoe earlier this year was visited by the police twice in 2 evenings for posting leaflets through doors in the local area. Now these leaflets said nothing controversial, they just spoke about COVID in a way which was critical. She was issued a warning by the police which threatened her free speech and her right to assembly and all other fundamental rights that she held. I'm here to speak to her this evening to hear her story, and this is a plus because this is a success story. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello. So earlier on this year you were visited by the police for posting leaflets in the local area. Could you tell me what exactly happened?
Well, I ordered some leaflets from the internet. They were copies of a newspaper called The Light Paper, copies of their back page. And I got them printed up and I wanted to deliver them around here because I thought there's obviously got to be other people like me that think the same way.
And it was sort of anti-lockdown or?
Yeah, just sort of, well, not really anti-lockdown, but just saying, you know, saying about the PCR tests, having false positives and just things like that. And it's, you know, it's not human to not hug people and all that kind of thing. So
I've got a copy here. It sort of says resist, refuse, reject, which I presume is a sort of a pun on the reduce, reuse, recycle kind of leaflet that you actually do generally sort of get posted through your letterbox. And obviously when those are posted through your letterbox, no one has any problem.
No.
They might be a bit annoying, might be junk mail, but they're not, you know, no one sort of sends the police round and issues written warnings telling you can't publish things.
No.
But that did happen to you, didn't it?
That did, yes.
And why do you think that was?
Because there was some members of the public didn't like the leaflets. So they hunted me down on social media and complained apparently to the police, including local councillors. And so
they got the leaflet, picked it up, and they were so sort of enraged by what was written on the leaflet, not by the fact that you'd posted something through their door, but the actual content of what was in it.
Yeah, there was one lady actually came out of her house and told me that I was posting dangerous information.
Dangerous information?
Yes.
How can information be dangerous? I mean, if you don't agree with it, you discard it.
I did say to her if she doesn't want it, she could put it in the bin.
So they sent the police round. And what did the police say?
Well, initially the police came round for another Facebook post where I'd said I was going to the memorial.
Cenotaph,
yes.
Yeah.
And I was doing the 2-minute silence in person up there because it was in protest that they had cancelled the service.
Right.
Because I go there every year to do that anyway. So, but yeah, somebody complained about me putting that. So I had the police come round to say that I was organising a protest.
Right, so it wasn't the leaflets.
Not to start with, it was that, yeah.
And then the second time they came round.
Then they came round the following night.
The following night?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
The following night with that.
With this leaflet. And this is a sort of the offending literature, as it were.
It is, yep.
It says, save your business and save your high street. That doesn't seem to be too radical of an idea. It says a few things about masks, distancing, lockdown. I mean, these sorts of things are, I wouldn't say that they're controversial ideas. I'd say that they're quite common. It's the kind of thing that's being discussed at the moment. Obviously, when you have a radical change in the way that you live, people want to talk about it and they want to discuss the ideas. So why is it that the contents of this leaflet were deemed sufficient for the police to come round and then issue this report, this warning, which says, you've been identified as delivering leaflets, and in delivering these leaflets, you have caused members of the public to feel distressed and put them in fear of continuing behaviour that will have a detrimental effect on residents of Colchester's everyday lives by encouraging people not to comply with the upcoming lockdown. This presents an unnecessary risk to public health. Now, they say here that you were encouraging people to not comply with the upcoming lockdown, but is it right that you were posting these before the lockdown was announced?
Yeah, I posted them on the Wednesday and the Thursday, and then Boris didn't announce the lockdown until the Saturday.
So you had no way of knowing that there would be another lockdown?
No.
And the police have included in this that you were encouraging people not to comply with lockdown you didn't know was going to be imposed?
Yes.
Right, okay.
And when I did say that to the policeman that handed me that, he said it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Right, okay.
No.
So you've given them the information, they're aware of it, but because they've had this prepared, they're not going to go away and draft something else and say, oh, let's rethink this. Clearly, we've got the wrong end of the stick.
Yeah.
They've just gone, right, we'll issue the same thing anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But on the conditions below, this is what interests me the most. You must comply with the following prohibitions / positive requirements / specified actions that are necessary to prevent the detrimental effect your conduct is having on the quality of life of those in the locality from continuing or recurring, which is kind of mealy-mouthed way of sort of saying you have to abide by new rules that we're imposing on you, otherwise something bad will happen to you. This is a warning. And those conditions are, you're not allowed to publish any material that may encourage non-compliance with COVID restrictions or are likely to cause distress. I mean, how can you tell what's going to cause distress? People can get distressed about anything, surely. So you basically can't publish any material at all.
Yeah.
Then you've got not to post or encourage others to post anything COVID related to people's properties whereby the residence of that property is not known to you. I mean, what does COVID related mean? If you go around posting masks through people's door, does that count as COVID related? And then not to arrange, facilitate or encourage any breaches of the COVID legislation by any person. So this is quite an exhaustive list of things you're now not allowed to do.
Yep.
On the basis of having basically
put one of
those through people's letterboxes. So, but these are fundamental rights: free speech, right to assembly. These are really quite fundamental things. That it's not a petty thing. No. So how did you deal with this?
I was a bit gutted to start with because I thought I've paid to get there, because I've still got another huge box of leaflets, and I was like, I've paid for them and I wanted to deliver them all. And obviously I can't now. So, and then obviously told my family that I'd received that. And I've got an uncle who's quite an avid YouTuber, and he'd heard about Rebel News, and he said to me they're doing a Fight the Fines UK campaign. So I went on the internet and I had a look, and I thought, I haven't had a fine, so I can't lose anything by giving it a shot. So I sent them the information. And
so you sent a request into Rebel News for our assistance, and our legal team sent a letter to the police.
Yeah.
And what was the upshot of that?
The solicitor phoned me on Saturday and told me that it's all been cancelled and that it's been rescinded.
So the police have rescinded this written warning.
Yep.
And you're now free to post this or any other leaflet.
I am, yeah, thank you.
Right.
Thanks to Rebel News, I can post leaflets again if I want to.
So you've got your fundamental rights back as a result of this. It's great news.
Yeah.
So you can, you might not, you said you weren't going to post this one again.
No.
Perhaps not, maybe because it's out of date now.
Yeah.
But you've regained that fundamental right. And also the other thing is, with this, it's very vague. It doesn't specify whether you can post things online or whether you can say things to people sort of, through text messages. It's quite vaguely worded. So I think you feel much more comfortable now that it's been rescinded.
I do, because I did feel a bit like that I'd had my voice taken away from me.
Right.
So because I am quite active on social media.
Yeah.
And obviously I felt like there was lots of things that I then couldn't say because you don't know who's watching.
Yeah.
So.
Well, best of luck with all of this.
Thank you.
So you've just heard from Kelly Hayhoe, a woman who was posting leaflets through her local neighbourhood. She received visits from the police, she was persecuted, but thankfully she got off the case. She's been allowed to go back to having her right to freedom of speech. Now this is a great success for Fight the Fines. We've been working so hard to combat a number of these abuses of power over the past year, but we couldn't do it without your support. People like Kelly have only managed to get off this through your donations and through the great amount of support that has come from people online who support Rebel News and fightthefines.co.uk. If you want to support people like Kelly, we are fighting a number of cases. You can chip in and donate at fightthefines.co.uk, and if you yourself have a similar case, you can go to the same URL and submit a report, and we will give you the support that we gave Kelly. So you've just heard from Kelly Hayhoe, who has actually been very fortunate in order to win her case. Now this is because her case is about free speech rather than being a fine like a lot of the other cases we're fighting. Those, however, who are fighting fines still need your support and your donations. So you can go to fightthefines.co.uk and chip in to help those people win their cases like Kelly.